Good afternoon, everybody. DJ Styles here at Custom Corpses. Um, so, I'm going to finally hair this bad boy, but I want the table to be seen too. All right, so about like that. That's what we want. I've decided to, hold on. Okay. You're back. Okay, Lucas, hang on. I'm going over to the computer and I want to put YouTube up on here so we can. I'm going to hair this Tots Trick or Treat Studios mask. And I want to do a start to finish. I usually use latex, and I'll explain why I'm not using latex in a few seconds here as soon as I get the channel up on my computer. All right. I want to share that I'm live. All right, so we need to go over here, here. Close. Hold on. I'm using tacky glue for the hair tonight. And I'll explain why as soon as I type in. Gotta go to my channel and I gotta share it on Facebook. Channel. Here I am live. Let's put that up. Yes, an H1 overhaul. I already painted it. If you watch the other video, I did the paint job on it. All right, I'm not seeing my video. Let me refresh. There we are. There we go. Now let me copy and paste. Paste it on my Facebook so people can join in. Post. Now let's go back to the stream. Volume's down. Yes. You can hear me okay, right? All right. Take off the glasses. Okay. So I've got my hair right here off to the right. And actually, I got a pile of it right here that I'm getting ready to use. All right, so let me explain why I'm using the tacky glue instead of the latex. You see all these hair strips that are here. I couldn't get them off without ripping the latex mask itself. I almost tore it in one spot over here, trying to get this off. There was a little it started to crack a little bit. I was like, you know what? No, that's it. So this is kind of pasted with a lot of glue. So latex is not going to stick to this. In other words, if I put a latex bead on here, the latex is going to want to pull off of that. So instead of removing all these hair strips, this is where the glue lines were, where they put the old hair. And I took all the hair off. It's awful. It's real flat. But once I put glue into this, it's going to cement to the latex and the hair. It's just going to take a little longer to dry. But man, look how wide those gaps were between the hairlines. That shouldn't be that far. At the most, it needs another line here in between. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these hairlines, but I'm going to put another line in between these areas here And I'm definitely going to do it completely different than what they did here. This is goofy. I mean, it left so many bald spots, and then this was the original hairline here that went around the whole thing. I was lucky to get this off, realizing how hard it was to get this off here. This hairline on the front, man, I was lucky to get that off. That's horrible. It was that bad. So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually stay on this hairline with the tacky glue. I don't have to now strip this down where I was forced to strip it down because the glue was coming off. So what I want to do here, I've got my popsicle sticks and I've got my my little sticks for the glue. I'm just going to follow this one bead right here. Let me try to go. I'm going to work on this side first. What's nice about using the tacky glue too is you have more time. So I'm going to go down here. I've already spread out a piece of the I'm going to bead across this. Then I got to mash that in. Mash that into my hair follicles. You really want to mash that all the way through so you're getting all that glue into that hair. Now, I'm not going to trim the edges like I usually do. I only do the trimming when it comes to the very last. And I'm using Icelandic hair. And what I'll do is I'll stick that into here. This won't take too long because I already cut the hair. One piece. Yeah, I need a little piece there. Hate doing that because it cuts away. Now I cut, these are about 4.5 inches. I always measure mine just by my hand, and it's a little bit longer than the width of my hand by like 2 fingers. So if you want to really judge it, I would say it's 2 fingers longer. So it's like 4, like 6 fingers in length, about 4 inches, So I need a little bit right here, right there, where it missed it right there. Now this'll be shorter when I'm done. I try to use the same exact spot where I'm putting the glue. I'm just putting a little extra on there because it kind of got mashed in. All right, that's good enough. Just right on the tip. Don't want to go crazy. Mash it in the exact same place. This Icelandic hair, let me look at your comments in a second. I just can't take my eyes off of what I'm doing here. Icelandic hair is actually really nice hair. It's a thick fiber. It has some of the gray, the grays in it, and it's cheap. Icelandic hair is actually very cheap, and it's easier to get a hold of too. Come on, this is sticking to my. Didn't want that to happen. Very soft. Icelandic hair is, but it's thick in fiber. The fibers are pretty thick. It'll be a nice Michael Myers look. It'll really give it a good look. Let me get closer to show you this look on this hair. See that hair? That nice? You see, it's brown. It's got a little grayish fibers in it too, and the fibers are pretty thick. But it's very soft. Man, is it soft. So we're going to use that same hairline as the base hairline. But I'm going to add another hairline right in between these big wide gaps that they didn't really do a good job with. So what we do is we spread this hair out, right? And I want to get it even. I don't want it to be thick. Got to remember, we're building up layers here, so you don't need like a ton of. You want to be able to just barely see your hand through the fibers. Then you know you're spread it out good enough. You want it spread out. Try to spread it out evenly. This stuff almost looks like real hair. This Icelandic is good stuff. Icelandic is very close in thickness. It's like, I think 50 microns in thickness. It does vary a little bit, but it gives you pretty good look to human hair. And now that it's spread, let me show it to you on the camera a little bit better. See? Can you see that okay? Stuff's good, man. Really good. And I was able to buy a pound of this. A full pound. Big bag. Actually, you see it up there on right behind me on top of the box? The mystery box that everybody's asking me about? It's not really any mystery. But that is my wed clay for my upcoming job that I'll be doing with, oops, forgot to do this. All right, so we need to, I'm going to go right from this point. This isn't going to take too long doing this job. And I'm trying to get an exact amount of how much hair I'm using. So that's, let me measure that real quick. What are my cuts usually? 5-inch cuts. So 5-inch, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. About 50 inches so far that I think I'm going to be close to. 50 running inches of this fiber. This is how it comes. It's bunched up like this, and it's all one long real strand. So it's like 5-inch cuts times 10 that I have cut prepared for this. I'm probably going to use a little bit more than 10 inches or 50 inches total. And hair, I'm thinking I'm probably going to end up using um, maybe 60 to 70 inches when it's all said and done. We'll see. We have 10 strips cut, and we're going to see where it ends from there. And I'm really mashing that. Can you guys see me doing this? Yeah, I'm mashing this into the hair really, really, really hard because I want it to go completely through the hair follicles. This way, when I go to, whatever you do, don't pull it up like I just did there. That's going to cover the whole thing. I love it. Perfect. Okay. Now, I'm going to use a new stick because that's really sticky, that one. I think my masks are a lot stiffer. My latex is stiffer, and this doesn't want to. Try not to get this stuff on my fingers because it really does suck when you have this glue on your fingers. Don't matter with all this stuff here, that don't matter. Just pulling the fibers up, and it's just giving it some more area to grab to. You can go as little as 4 inches. I wouldn't go any shorter than that if you want to cut your hair length a little shorter. I like mine just a little bit longer. This hair is a very soft hair, so it's going to really, it's going to style real easy. Okay, that's that side. Now we come back up. And I'm going to put another bead like right here, you'll see. I'm going to put another bead right there. I'm just splitting the difference here. Actually, I can go all the way around since. Now, some people like to smear this all over the place. I don't think it's necessary. You want it to be a little bit bulky on there because now see, these fibers do get twisted a little bit, so you want to make sure that when you're spreading these out, you don't have fibers crossing over each other. Come on, work it, get up, separate. See how it's like coming apart at the top, but not so much the bottom. You have to constantly work it until you get it. It's just like a kinky area where it was. You can feel it right in here. There's a spot. Doesn't want to separate. And I don't like, I was doing short runs before. And sometimes that's just too time consuming. I was like doing like 1/4 of this span before. And wow, that's a really bad kink there. But you know what? That's alright, it all adds to the style of the hair. Perfect. Get this out of the way. Okay. Bead on here, right on the ends. I'm literally putting it like a quarter, maybe a sixth. I would say little bit more than a 1/4 of an inch to the edge. No, about an 1/8 of an inch to the edge. Eighth of an inch to the very edge of where the hair follicles come to an end. 1/4 to an 1/8, and then just kind of mash that in there. Hold it down because the fibers will want to pull out. You don't want to do that. But you want to get that glue all the way through it. Let me read your comments after this. I'm going to put this on and then I'll read your comments. See who's there with me tonight. Hold on, give me a second. I'll read every one of them. I'll start at the very top because I can take a break once I get this bead on here. This stuff doesn't set up right away like latex. Latex, you have to move faster. Just remember that whenever, if you're going to hair your mask and use mask latex, it takes a lot longer. You don't have a lot of time to play around. You got to get it on there quick. Now I'm going to sandwich that, so I pull it off the table all at once. Okay. Let me mash that in there before that sets up. Yeah, that is soft hair. That is really soft, this stuff. It's a shame we have to freeze it because it is nice and soft. It's a soft hair. Okay, let me read your comments. I gotta put my glasses on because for whatever reason, when you're diabetic, your fluctuation in your eyesight changes a little bit. Okay, Lucas Gaming, I'm back. I know you're back. Lucas Gaming, oh, wow. Tots, H1 rehaul. Yes, it is, baby. We're on our way to making, and I'll show you the face of this thing when I get this thing haired. Same thing happened to my old Tots mask. It's like they use super glue for mine. Yeah, well, this is how you get around that. You don't have to sweat it. You know, you don't have to worry about that. The main thing is make sure that you use tacky glue for the hair, because then you won't have to worry about the glue that's on the hair or on the sculpt. What am I saying here? I'm losing my train of thought here. Yeah, I'll lose a lot of this hair when I go to comb it out, but that's okay. All right, so let me read on to the next. Okay, Lucas Gaming, same thing happened, yes. What type of hair is that? This is called Icelandic, with a D at the very end, D-I-C. Icelandic, brown Icelandic hair. It's really awesome. Good stuff. It actually has it actually looks like the original H1 color. It's a darker brown. It's not a very light brown. So it's a really nice hair. It's really nice. Icelandic. And it's actually cheap. This stuff's pretty cheap. It's very hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not hard to get either. Icelandic. Lake scamming. Are you going to use the staircase picture for the hair? Yes. Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm going to do. Lucas came up. I gotta go. I'm going to watch the whole thing again. Don't worry. That's okay, Lucas. Do what you got to do, man. We all have to work. We all have to do things. That's for sure. Okay, so I'm going to go on now. I've read everybody's comment, and let's go on to the next piece of hair. Let's move forward here. All right, let's spread this out. I'm trying to avoid getting stuff in my hands because the hair wants to stick to your hands, and you don't want that to happen. And right now, I'm just spreading it apart. I want to be able to see through the hair. I can see my hand through the hair. I can see my hand. So you can see my hand through that hair a little bit. That's spread it far enough. Just barely see. You gotta remember, we're doing layers here, so make sure you have plenty for coverage, but at the same time, add a little more up here. Okay. You know what? I'm going to use this instead to see if I can mash harder. Yeah. That works better, believe it or not. Okay. Remember to pull this up evenly. Need the little sticks for this. Come on. The only thing I don't like about using tacky glue, it's messier. A lot messier. So what I'm going to do here is, because this feels like it's not really grabbing on, I'm just going to put a little bead right over top of this and spread over top. Because I don't want this hair to come undone either, if you know what I mean. works for me. I need a plastic. Here we go. Just to clean my. There we go. Just to be able to clean that off so I can keep using it. Move my chair a little closer. All right. Now we put another bead. I think I cut my hair. You know what it is? I'm used to my size mask. My mask is a little bigger than this mask. And I used a 6-inch or a 5-inch cut. And I can get away with a 4-inch cut with this. That's for sure. Now, because this is so close together from here to here, I'm just going to go right above this. I'm going to go right above that, right on top of that. And because there's a lot of brown here already, so it's going to cover up pretty nice. You're not going to be able to see through there. And because my hair follicles are pretty long. So what we're going to do is we're going to do perfect. Now I don't want the hair sticking to my hands, so I'm going to pull this apart, back this out of my way. Cool, cool. Just remember to hit the like button, guys. YouTube definitely likes the likes. And share the content. Let people know what you're seeing here. And help me grow this page. Now, I have been told that YouTube doesn't really like lives. So I'm going to create 2 channels at some point. One's going to be my live, and the other one's going to be just uploaded videos. They like the uploaded videos more than the lives. But I've been delaying that because I want to buy a camera that will allow me to do, you know, be able to save it. I'm trying to do everything on my phone, and I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max. That's what I have. And boy, the videos really kind of eat up the space, so I'm going to have to okay. I've got to figure this out with this. Using the phone. I was doing the lives more because of space on the phone and not so much because I wanted to do lives. I was looking to do more just plain videos, but then, man, my phone kept really bogging down. I have to delete them. I started learning how to upload everything onto the computer. It's just so much to learn. You know. And all I want to do is sculpt. I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours. I'm not I mean, yes, I'm a content creator, as they say, but it's not the most important thing to me. But it's important to you guys more than it is me, because, you know, you guys need to be able to see the content. I get that. Come on already. Okay. On to the next strip. I mean, this is not hard, guys. Bargain, 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 bargain. Yeah, I mean, as I say, this hair is really nice, and it's not expensive. It's not like mohair. Mohair, you try to get a full pound, like I got in that big bag there. Shoot, man, you're looking at, oh, like that. I think it was like $40, $50. You know, and mohair, I find it's too soft. That it's not coarse enough. You have to make sure that you get adult mohair. I like the Icelandic because of the different color variations that are in the hair. It looks more natural. You have some grays in there that looks real. You know, there's some gray hair in there. A lot of people overlook this hair. They really do. But what I did to discover the different hairs is I ordered a bunch of different stuff until I found what I liked. So by watching my video and me sharing the content, I've helped you guys find a nice hair, but through my trial and error. So the least you can do is add me as become a subscriber, share my content, and definitely hit that like button for me, will you please? I'm just joking with you guys. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Would help me, but I will be doing 2 channels. I have to do that because it just looks like you're not going to get any real traction without putting videos up. It seems like, from what I'm being told, with YouTube. Okay, hang on a second. Let's get this garbage out of here. So going live isn't going to be the only thing I do. I can't do it that way all the time. I think I'm going to have to do, maybe break it up. I'll do one live a week and one video a week, so to speak. Oh yeah. So let's see. Putting it down for it, dopey. Yeah, definitely don't mash it in with the small popsicle stick anymore. Learned this lesson already. Use your bigger popsicle stick to smash it into the hair. It's hard to do with the big popsicle stick on the head because the latex is pretty flimsy. Usually my masks are thicker. These masks are very thin. And I mean, you could be extra neat and cut those little fine fibers off with the scissors, but when you're working with the tacky glue, man, does it get messy if you do that. In other words, trim this up. I usually do that, but not in this situation. Because now I've just jotted a little line here with a pencil just to give me my hairline, because I don't want to get too close to that. I'm going to have the hairline going back this way. I am going to put a little piece right here because I need that for the, what do you call it? Now I want a clean stick so I can press. Hair follicles down into the glue that was dripping down here. Okay, so we need just a little strip of hair that's going to go right there. And you're starting to see how this is coming together, right? Yeah, you guys can see that, right? We're trying to run it. Trying to kind of following the pattern a little bit, but kind of not. You'll see. When it starts getting up into this area, it changes a little bit. One thing about tacky glue, man, I've had this tacky glue for quite some time, so it lasts a long time. That's a good thing. I've had this tacky glue for a couple of years. I think it was drying right there on the tip. Mash it in there good. And now on this situation, I am going to cut these follicles just a little bit, trim it up, because I don't want, oh man, not good. Got a runaway drip here. Turn this sideways. There we go. I'm going to read your comment in a second here. I'm not really up on the hairline yet. That's going to be the last row right there on that. But this strand here is kind of important for when you're doing the devil's horns, they call them. I guess I'm going to call them the horns. So I put that strand kind of going in that direction. And what is all this stuff all over me? It's not the glue, it's something else. Alright, now. Alright, so you see the kind of direction here that I'm going in now. Now we're going to go back to this side. And yeah, that's the check mark. Okay, so now I'm going to go into about here. This is where it gets a little different. And I'm going to use up every strand of hair that I have. So I already cut in length, total length of hair that I used so far. I'm down to 1, 2, 3. Total cut was 10 cuts. So my thought is I probably used about 40 inches, maybe 30, 35 inches of hair. Paper bag to clean off what I'm not using here. The bottom here was bunching up still. There we go. Thick stuff, man. I guess that's why they call it tacky glue. And I got my tacky glue over at Michael's. You can get it at Michael's, you can get it at Hobby Lobby. It depends on what kind of hobby craft shops around you. I like the tacky glue for this situation. When there's already glue on the head, you don't want to spend all that time tearing all that off. I don't rip all that off. It's kind of pointless because it's buried anyway. You're not going to see it or feel it. You're not going to see it or feel it. going to do a little more in here. Full strand here, a full run. I piece that one together, but that's okay. When you piece it together, it gives it a little bit of randomness to it. I always separate, I said this earlier, I'll say it again, I separate my hair to the point where I can see through it just a little bit and see my hand through it. When I start seeing my fingers through there just lightly, that's thin enough. You don't want it too thin. Just barely see through it. This way you're not wasting a lot of hair. Very easy to waste hair, trust me. Believe me, by the time I comb this out, I can't comb this out until tomorrow. Can't style it, can't do anything until it's completely cured. That's the only thing. Latex, I would have been able to do it in a couple hours. But this here, tacky glue takes a little bit longer.
Johnny!
You! So we're hairing the mask. I'm using Icelandic hair.
Ooh, that must have been cold at some point.
Yeah, it's a little nipply out there tonight.
I was on the stream there. I was like, oh look, pedo Michael. Or Baldy. Look at him.
Shit's happening, man. Shit's happening. That's all we can say. Finally, we don't want to say anything else. Yeah, this is a. You should feel this stuff. Feel this Icelandic hair, and look at the fiber thickness, and it has the grays in it.
Wow, look at that.
Isn't that nice?
That'd be nice to get to put a beard on somebody.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's probably the best so far than what I've found. That is the highest quality.
What is it?
It's a goat. It's
Oh,
Icelandic.
oh.
Icelandic. See that?
I'll be a son of a gun. A goat, chap. A
And
goat.
It's from the northern regions, so the hair follicles
Very
are
thick.
thick. They're thicker. They're see whenever you're getting, you always think about the goat. I'll give you guys a little bit of a lesson here.
Here's your goat hair.
The further north you go, or the closer you get to the Arctic circles, whether it be south or north, wherever there's goats that are closer in that region, the hair is going to be naturally thicker. If you're buying a goat hair from the warmer climates, it's going to be thinner, and it's just common sense if you think about it. But I don't know. I haven't met too many people with common sense, including myself sometimes. All right, so I really made a mess of that.
He's playing with his goat hair.
I was playing with my goat hair, so we're going to fix that problem right here.
Oh, you just spread that on like a slinky.
That's it.
I'll be a son of a gun.
Slinky, slinky. Slender slinky. And then you just push it down into the head. And using the tacky glue allows me to not have to worry about taking the existing glue off the head that's there, because it's a pain in the neck to try and take that all off of there. So I couldn't use latex. Normally on a clean head where there's nothing on it, I prefer using latex because nothing sticks to latex better than latex itself. So, but in this situation, I've got to use the tacky glue. So that's what I don't like about this. That's why I don't like thin masks. Trying to get the hair to stick perfectly.
It's like painting a pimple ball.
Yeah, it has its issues. That's for sure. But boy, this stuff's so soft. It's, oh my God. It's a shame that I have to put glue in it or freeze it up with to style it. I don't actually have to. I'm gonna leave it to somebody else to do. But to really give it that look, I love the grays in there. It looks like real hair. It looks like human hair.
It does.
It really looks like human hair. Yeah, once that's styled, man, that's gonna be really nice. Okay, so the next bead goes right across the top, right here. It's not that hard, guys. It's really kind of not rocket science, that's for sure. And we're going to go a little bit back here.
Man, that stupid PayPal tried banning my account.
Why?
Because I thought I had a business account and I used my business name on a personal
Ooh.
account.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that kind of stuff.
And
Oh, fraud alert on their end.
yeah, they're like, oh, nope, flag your account. So I talked to them for the past 2 hours. That was delightful. 7 transfers later,
You're fixed.
yeah, I got to a resolve.
I went the wrong way with this glue. That's okay. We'll just mash it in there and make it work.
Blob it in there.
Blob alert, blob alert. Okay, so I'm down to my second to last strand. You know what? I'm going to use that other one for this because I had, all right, now here's a situation. This was the very end. See how it's all wispy right at the end? Well, that was the very end of my, do I want to, yeah, I do. I want to mash this in a little bit right in here. What am I doing? Yeah, I gotta put some in the end here. Not much though. Pretty crazy. Yeah, I wanted to get a good hair video up anyway. Because I have a couple other hair videos up, but I think they were just too long in the process, so to speak. Okay. Move my little popsicle stick off so I can mash this in. Just using up that last piece on the end, and then I'm going to use that straight run. So I'm going to go right in here. Oh yeah. All right, so. Yeah, I kind of did it a little differently on this side because I've been trying to, right under here, right over here, there was this glue spot that I didn't want hindering my mask, or so to speak. So okay. Then we got to cut some more Icelandic, just not, a little bit more, not much. I'm keeping track of how much I actually use in inches. So for this will be the 50th inch of hair that I've used on my mask. 50 inches, so to speak, so far. And like I said, I guessed around 70 inches of hair. Running lengths of however long they punch this up. I'll show you. I'll show it to you on video once I get it up here. Let me read your comments real quick, guys, before I start this last piece of 10 inches or 5 inches of hair here. And this hair right in here, I'm going to really bunch it up so I get the pompadour. I want that pompadour look. And you know what? I think I'm going to start that right on the middle, right here. So what I'm going to do instead, I messed up my direction a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to put a little bit of hair right in here. Right across this. Where am I going? And out of there. Perfect. Okay. This starts the pompadour. right, let me read your comments real quick, and then we're gonna grab some more hair out of that bag to show you how this stuff comes. It's one long, nice. All right, let's see, bargain. Okay, that's it. Thanks. Yeah, Icelandic's good as long as you get the brown. You don't want the gray or any of that. The brown one's the one you want. It's got a very nice look to it. It really does. It's very soft, but yet it gives you the thicker fibers to make it look like, and it's got the grays mixed in with it. So it gives it a very realistic look. All right, so all right, so let's do this. Let me pull my bag over here. And that's what it says right there, Icelandic. Brown Icelandic, 1 pound of hair. All right, so, see this? I can keep pulling on this and pulling on this. It's all one long strand. I can keep pulling this right out of this bag, but I don't want to do that. I'm trying to see, I'm trying to guess. All right, so we have 10 cuts of this at 5 inches so far. But before I start doing that, I gotta clean this. I gotta clean this off of this blade. Yuck. All right, I gotta clean this blade a little bit. You definitely don't want that. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut as I go now. That just makes more sense. I just have to keep count of how many I cut. So this is cut 11. All right, so 2 fingers, so about 6 fingers. This is cut 11. I know I can use 2 of these. Maybe I'll cut 2 of these. I'll cut 2 or 3. This is 11. This is 12. Actually, it's too short. This is 12. Yeah, 13. I'll leave us in here for now. We got a total of 13 cuts. And that would be 55, 60, 65 inches of hair so far. 65 inches of running length hair. More importantly, 13 cuts of hair so far for me. I know exactly how many I need. I needed to document that too at this the last video. I didn't do that, and I'm kind of like, well, how much hair do I need? Well, now I can actually say to you about roughly 70 inches of running hair, length. And that's only if it comes this way, or it's already been, and what do they call it, blended? It's got to be blended already. Next. Okay, I know exactly where I'm going with this. It's easy because I'm used to my masks. So I'm kind of winging this. I'm not really, there's no pattern. I didn't draw on it. I don't think it's necessary to draw out the pattern. Maybe the hairline, that's about the only one you really want to draw out of where your hairline's going to be. So. Figures. I'm going to cut that off there, or it's going to be a mess. It ain't pretty, but it'll work. Getting down to the nitty gritty of it now. See, honestly, I wasn't kind of wasn't totally decided on what I wanted to do with this region here and hair, and kind of know what I'm going to do now. All right, so I'm going to save these outside. I don't need to go any further with these here. This is the hairline. I'm just trying to pile in the hair here for the pompadour. That's all I need to do now is just a pompadour. And then I'll work the hairline. The hairline drops down in here. I'm just going to put another stream of hair right here to really give me that nice top coat of hair. This didn't take too long. I don't even know how long I've been on. One of you guys can tell me, how long have I been on? How long have I been on? You know what? We're going to use this end. It's just neater. It's neater. Oh yeah. Getting it done. Getting it done. One more thing here, and then we start the hairline. And I really am going to do the hairline. I'm not going to flip it back like I normally do. I'm going to try and do the actual way the original mask was done. And the hairline, it had a glue line, but I got to do really, really fine. And that's when I start cutting the edge real nice. And I got to be careful on how much glue I put on there too. So 13 cuts so far. I'm going to guesstimate probably 15 cuts of hair. Should do the whole thing. 15, maybe 16. Give you a better. You see how you can see through that a little bit. You see the mask coming through that. That's about where you want it. You don't want it any thinner than that. Okay. And we're going to put one more bead right here. That tip off bad. There we go. Okay. We don't want that to stick. A new stick here. Really mashing that glue right into those fibers really good, because if you don't, when you go to comb this out, that glue's going to, it's just going to let loose those fibers, and you're going to be pulling a lot of your hair out, including the hair on your head, and you get mad at yourself. taking my glasses off. I know what I should be doing. Take one stick and you hold it down, and the other stick you pull it. You just don't want any of these hair follicles going down into your hairline. And you can see the hairline right here. It looks like a big old pompadour right here. And your part's going to be right there, and I also have to put hair. Okay, so now we start the hairline. We're going to start on this side. First thing I got to do is cut some hair. 1, 2, 3. 3 cuts. So that brings me in at 16 total. 16 cuts. So we just did 13, 14, 15, 16 cuts. So that's 75 inches. 75 inches of hair. And before I do that, I clean this off again. So now I know, 75 inches, that's an easy number to remember too. 1, 2, 3. And this should give me what I'm after. Only because the hairline's a little bit trickier, I'm not going to try and span, well, maybe I will. No. I think I'll half these. That's what I'll do. I'll do half at a time. Because you don't want your hairline to be too unmanageable when you're trying to cut it. Because I have to actually trim this edge once I put the glue on it. And I don't want to go into this old glue. So I'm going to start this area right in here. Actually, let's do this first, because that'll cause a run. And it's just a thin bead of glue there. I'm trying to be as careful as I can, not to pull too much glue back into that hairline, and I'll show you why. Now, I want to make sure that this edge is very, very thin. I'm cutting this edge. Oh, didn't want to take that much off. That's right, there's glue here to save me. always got to keep that clean. The scissors, because you definitely don't want your scissors dirty. Smaller strips of hair, it's easier to manage. You don't want to put it on your hairline. You definitely don't want to put too much hair or too much. Stick time. Really? One good thing about using the tacky glue, your hairline disappears. You really don't see the glue. You don't see the glue that much. So we're going to cut this in half a little bit. We're going to do the very front of this. This is important right here because there's a little bit of a check mark right in this area here, you'll see. I have to separate that with a tool, which I have right here. What do we do with it? Right there. Come on. I'm just going above the hairline just a little bit. I'm going to pull that glue down into the hairline. shtick. And I want to see where that check mark is, right in here. Okay. Now this is where the okay. That's a nice high popping door. That should be really nice when this is combed out and all said and done. Okay. Well, you guys are starting to see the face now. Okay. There's the infamous check mark right there, and we have to do a little check right here. All right, so this is going to be interesting to do this section of hair. And then I got to pull this in this area. So take this little bit of hair, spread it out. Okay. Now it's when you're doing your hairline, don't put the glue on here first. Do the hair first because you don't want this to run down on you. You don't want the glue to run down the face. And it will do that. Gravity does win. No matter how hard we try, gravity always beats our ass. So, before I do anything further, I'm going to mash that into the hair follicles. See, what I'm doing is I'm holding this down, so when I'm pulling this and pushing that glue all the way through the fibers on the tip, I'm not pulling the hair across it. that's keeping it from going. You're just really making sure that you get that. And now, before I get trying to cut, I gotta clean this blade off. It's almost like you need that extra person with you, just constantly cleaning your tools and working with you. But that's if you're lazy like me, you know, bringing somebody else to help you do the stupid things. And okay, now I've got that piece ready. Now I'm gonna put the glue on, and we'll see what happens here. Now, come on. Now I'm putting it a little heavier right there. And you'll see why in a second. Okay. You see this little check mark that I have drawn in here? I have to pull the hair This is part of the sideburn. So the sideburn that goes up here, it's supposed to match into that. That's what was left on the original mask. Okay. Well, we only have a little section left. And isn't ironic I have just enough there. And I'm going to make it a little thicker there because I have the actually, I don't know if I should or not. Yeah, I can. Because I got to make the what do you call it? I want to make sure I'm right on this. Okay. I don't mind losing a little bit of hair. So it's still 16 pieces at 5-inch lengths. That's a full mask. That's the Trick or Treat Studios Tots mask. $78. This won't be able to be combed until tomorrow. Really mashing that in there because I don't want those fibers escaping. When I go to comb out, I don't want them being pulled out. Not that much. I want some coming out. You have to get some to come out, but you don't want to have too much. Okay. Of course. Okay. Now how do I want this in here? Yeah, I'm going to go that way with it. Okay. And you'll see what I'm going to do here in a second. Okie dokie. I'll put a little bit of glue right on my stick. Minus the hair follicles. No, that's not going to matter. Now, I need to pull this out. In this area here, so it looks a little ununiform. Not too much, but just enough. Okay, so I'm going to get a cleaner stick, cleaner than that. And I want to put some glue on it, and I want to mat in this area here because there's a little bit too much, no glue there. I'm just putting a little glue on the stick here. I'm plugged in, right? You guys still with me? If I really want to make it super authentic, which I might do later on, but I don't want to do it with this type of hair. I want to get a different type of hair. I'm just going to put that back in the bag. Pressman, cool. I just wanted to make sure my phone didn't shut down like it did before. I have it plugged in, so I don't think that's going to happen. And I got hair all over me, but that's okay. I don't have no glue on me. That's the main thing. So that is the finished herring of the Trick or Treat Studios. Just has to be styled now. Styled, cut a little bit, trimmed. with Icelandic hair. Let's just give it a quick spin. You guys can see what, once it's all combed out, it'll have a nice pompadour up here, and this will all be cut and trimmed down. It'll look good. I'm not even the slightest bit worried about this one. This is going to really look good. Here's a profile of it so you can see how the shape of the hair should be. It'll be slendered back. It'll be really pulled. You'll see the hairline was pulled into the front here. You want to make sure that check mark's there. It was messy, like right in this area where they, on the original mask, where they were putting it, like where they ripped the hair out, there was still some hair follicles in this area. So I'm kind of replicating that pretty close to what the original was. And we're going to see what happens. Can't wait to see what this looks like when it's all combed out, styled. Maybe I'll sell it. I don't know. What would you guys buy this? Let's say for $250. Yeah, because it cost me $70 for this mask. I don't get no bargains. I don't get no breaks like anybody else. A mask is like $60 or $70, and I got to make money on this. I can't just do it for free. But would you spend it? Not even if you. It's not asking if you guys would want it, but would you spend $250 on a mask painted like this and haired like this? And once it's styled. Let me kill the lights to give you a better. Well, you know what? I tried that. It doesn't matter. I can't get the right lighting on this to give you the cool effect of how good this looks. It has to be done in like I need a cloudy day and natural light to show you the details of this. I'm gonna have to change my lamps, I think. I need natural light. I need a real natural look. But this is the weathered, rehauled Trick or Treat Studios 78 edition. And it looks pretty damn good, I have to say. Yes, it does. It looks good. It's got that ghostly white, fish belly white. That's because I make my own fish belly white. I happen to like the fish belly. It's what the original color was that they used. It wasn't cream. It wasn't beige. It wasn't red like they. Somebody had said something in Halloween too. I thought that was so funny. You need to do a red mask. The one that, when it went into the red light. No, put a red light next to it. Like, I didn't do that. Now, the only mask that I ever did to make it look like the poster art was the actual fire mask. And the reason why I don't show how to do that is because Nick Malpagano shows you how to do the fire mask. And I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. That's not what I do this channel. What I do, I try to do my way. And I'm not copying somebody else. This art's originally my art. It's not really, the paint work is what I envision of what he would look like. I don't try to mimic anybody else's paint schemes, or, I'll you can't help it, but when you see all these different paint schemes, one of yours is going to look like somebody's out there that somebody's doing, that's close. And the other thing too, you're never going to make a perfect identical match to when you paint these masks and everything. It's never going to be identical to what you did prior to. So you're always going to have that little bit of difference in how your mask looks compared to others. So I can't wait to see how this looks when this is all done. It should look really good. I'm just I want to make sure that hairline is really pressed in. Let's not mess with it now. It's a little too sticky. I don't want to pull the hair off either. So Once that hardens up, it'll look nice. Not on this one. Not no, you don't do that with this because there's on the original 78. You can see the hairline a little bit, but see they used it like a glue like this where it disappears. The glue is clear, so you're not really going to see it too much. Right now it's a little white, so you can see the hairline a little bit. But as that clears, it's going to look like. See, there's a check mark. There's little things like that make this hairstyle look like the authentic mask, and that's one of them. Is the fact that you have to put the little check mark that's right here, right above this, right here, right above the where the eyebrow is. There's a little check mark right here, there, and then there's this check mark, but the opposite direction. It follows the glue line where the sideburn was. It comes right into that, and that's because they ripped off the sideburn. And then this over here was pulled into the mask because this whole area had somewhat glue in this area, and when they pulled the sideburn off, there was still some hair that was like glued to the mask here, and that's why I pulled that forward to give you that line. But once this thing's styled, combed and styled, it's going to give you that real authentic look. It's going to look really good. I can't wait, and I can't wait to see how good this Icelandic hair looks as a finished product. It should look amazing. Yeah, man. It's going to comb real nice, I can tell you that. I can already tell by just the way I'm handling it. It's going to comb out really nice. So, it is what it is. So what are you guys doing tonight? Anything? Yes, they on the Halloween Ends mask, they pulled the hairline down over top so you couldn't see a hairline. And the way that's done, it's not actually pulled down. The real way to do that is instead of putting the hair on back that way and putting the hairline in, you glue it down, but you have your pieces. Oh shoot. You have your pieces hanging down this way, like this, down across the front of the face, and then you glue it down, and then when it's somewhat dry, you flip it back, and when you flip it back, that hairline completely disappears. It's a very easy thing to do. Only the authentic, original Halloween 1 mask didn't have that. Because you got to remember, it was a cheap store-bought mask, and they kept the original hair. They just tore the sideburns off. So the real way to do the hairline is just the way I just did it on the original 78 and 81, because that's pretty much the same thing. But the 81 got matted. So the glue line kind of disappeared when it got matted down. That's why you didn't see the glue line in the 81 mask as much as you do in the 78 mask. And the glue line, believe it or not, is only at the thickest point where I can see. It's like a 1/4 inch, not even. Most of it's like 1/8 inch in thickness. The hairline, 1/4 inch. I'm glad you like it. It is really close. It's close to what. I wish you guys could see this off camera, because the lighting just does not do this sculpture, the lighting does not do it justice. It really doesn't. It really looks amazing. I got to try and, once this is styled and hair, and I'm going to pick a cloudy day, and I'm going to do high definition video. And what I'll do is I'll do the not high definition. I'm going to do 4K video on the mask outside in cloudy, you know, cloudy conditions, so you can see the actual colors. And with the 4K, you'll really be able to see the colors and variations. You'll see it really nice. And then I'll upload that video. I won't do that live because live doesn't give you 4K. It doesn't even. I think 1080p is the highest you can upload a video on the Ustream or YouTube. So my thoughts are, you'll see it, and man, I wish I could find a way to use 4K on video for everybody so they can see the final look of this mask. Yeah, I dropped this hairline down. This hairline was probably way up here, and it literally was just rounded. You know, it didn't look right. The hairline's now right. It comes in and drops down a little bit on top of the forehead. The side wasn't too far off from what the mask should have been. The side. Yeah, this stuff's crazy cool. I will muss up the hair a little bit, but I can't do that until I comb it all out. You have to comb it all out. Pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. But that's how you overhaul. This is how you overhaul and hair a Trick or Treat Studios 78. And this is why, I mean, you've seen this in real time. See, this is why they are expensive. You can't expect an artist to sit down and spend probably a good 8 hours doing to completion, 8 to 10 hours to do a full-blown overhaul. I mean, I don't make $5 an hour. I don't make $10 an hour. I like to make at least 50 to 55, maybe even $60 an hour whenever I'm doing this artwork. You know, even as my other work, that's what I make. So I'm not going to sit down and make nothing. But you can't charge $500 for an overhaul. That's impossible. But if I can walk away, probably $250, $300 for an overhaul mask. That's about where it's going to be. I can't charge. You're not paying for the mask. Actually, here's what I want people to do: is just you buy your own mask and then you send it to me. That's the best way to do it. Send it to me and I'll overhaul it. If you really like the way it looks, you know, you can always pick one up, Trick or Treat Studios, and then I'll overhaul it to look like this. And let me zoom in on the mask a little bit so you guys can get a closer look at it. You'll see the hairline. Actually, I'll have to move I have to take the camera off of here anyway. Give me a second here. All right. You know, it's got the weathering. Let's see, there's your glue line. once that dries, that white will turn clear. This is this stuff here is it turns ultra clear. So you won't have that. You won't even see that glue line too well. You won't see that whiteness. See, it's already drying in here. See how it's turning clear? You don't see it. It looks like it's part of the mask. That's the check mark. There's the little split right there. That's where that has to line up to right here, right on the mask. But the shadowing's there. The lips look good. The neck flesh tones look right. Got a little pinkish hue to them, but a little bit of dark brown right underneath the chin. Yeah. This Trick or Treat Studios 78 mask. I have hats off to the artist because honestly, this really does give you the balcony look. It really, truly does give you the balcony look. And the other thing I think he really took into consideration is how the light hits the mask. I think he did a lot of overhead lighting to it. I got to clean up this edge right here. I see a little black mark. It must have got up on top of the mask. I'm sorry. See a little check mark. That's all right. I can fix that. That ain't no biggie. This is a little black piece of black paint that got up on there. Anyway, yeah. And when he sculpted this, I think he kept hitting it with lights to really, give it that texture, and it just looked right. It looks really right. And the lighting, this camera does not do it real justice. You're really not getting, like, there's the detail on the lips, color, chin, dirtiness on the mask. You don't want to be over dirty because this isn't part 2. This is still part 1, where the mask was somewhat clean. And the styling takes place probably tomorrow or maybe the next day. I'll style the hair. And then this baby's done. And let the bidding begin. I don't know. I'll debate. Now see, look at the fibers. Look at the hair fibers. See all the different variations of color. See the gray streaks that are in there. That looks like natural, real hair. This Icelandic brown is very good stuff. And it's not expensive. It's cheap. So this is going to produce a really nice mask. But guys, I'm going to jump off of here. I want to thank you guys for watching. And stay tuned for part 3 on the styling of the hair. I can't do it until tomorrow because it's got to glue. That glue's got to wait. Got to wait till overnight. I want to make sure that glue is really, really firm and cured before I start pulling on it, because that'll pull right out when you start combing it, trimming it, combing it, and all that fun stuff. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching, and let me read your comment because I couldn't see it. The finished mask, that paint looks sick. Yeah, my paint is it's a flat. I used the same color that they actually used on the original mask, and it's fish belly white. It's got a little bit of blue in it. That's the difference. Fish belly has got a blue tint to it. You don't use gray. You don't add gray to the white to tint it. You add blue, cobalt blue if you want to really be specific. And you got to add just a little tiny bit, and you just keep adding little drops of it. Keep mixing it until you get the right tint. And when you look into that jar, whatever you're making up, you'll be able to tell just by the look in there of how close you are. And you always have to remember, paint dries darker. So it's really tough to get that balance right on the fish belly. But once you get it, you won't forget it, and you'll have a really nice fish belly look. And the fish belly gives it that ghoulish look. It really does. You know, if people didn't know about the fish belly color, they've tried to replicate that color and they couldn't figure out what it was, why it looked so ghostly. And yet, you know, they kept adding grays and blacks to try and mimic that color. And it wasn't until they revealed it in one of the Halloween, I think it was a 25th anniversary, that they revealed that they painted it in fish belly white. So, but that is the Trick or Treat 78, haired, painted, overhauled. Just needs to be styled. And we're going to do that maybe tomorrow or the next day. I might wait an extra day just to make sure that this is cured, this glue. So peace, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye.